The car read -2 as I was coming up the road there. Thick sheets of ice everywhere. It was a hairy drive. Took it easy, just took it slow. I'm just outside Cargan in County Antrim. It's a little hillside town, and above it the Woodland Trust have planted a forest called Drumwood. That's where I'm at now. I'm in the car park at Drumwood, getting warmed up. Going to make a cup of coffee before I start trying to take some astro shots here. Inside the wood, there's a giant iron sculpture. And my plan for tonight is to try and get a lovely time lapse of the stars moving over, above and absolutely in through it. It's got these lovely cutouts in this great iron sheet that should hopefully give us some interesting effects of the stars. Don't like rushing these things. When I parked up the car, first thing I did was turn off the lights off, sat for a few moments. Getting a bit warm. Sat for a few moments and took myself for a dander up through the dark without turning the head torch on. That allowed me to get a sort of feel for just how dark it is here, and it is very dark. There's a large population centre, a town called Ballymena, about 15 miles away, I'm guessing that. And there's definitely some light pollution just out here above the camera there. Luckily, my frame tonight is pointing northeast, which is as dark as it can get round here at the minute. Bit of a shame because Orion's rising above me here. It's beautiful, but we'll not have that in shot tonight. I do like to pre-visualise a shot, have a good sense of what it is I'm going to go out and photograph. But having done this for a while now, and if you've followed my journey to the photographs, you'll know that I've learned that the shot I've pre-visualised is often not the best shot I get from the session. In order to facilitate that process, whenever I get to a location, I do like to stop, take a few deep breaths, go for a bit of a walk. If it's dark and Baltic, we'll light the fire, get a kettle on, get a nice cup of coffee. And by the time you've done all those things, you've generally wound down, you've forgotten everything that's away at the house, you've left work and family and all that sort of stuff behind. You're just concentrating on being yourself. You've been listening, you've been aware of the surroundings, you've started to get a good feel for the area. Feel for an area is a funny term, isn't it? Like, how can you feel an area? But you do, you know it yourself. Right, time to get a coffee on, eh? One of the things I wanted to talk about was keeping your head up when you're out taking photography. Especially at night. Astrophotography, I love astrophotography, it's awesome. Using time-lapse photography, you can see the speed we're moving through the universe. We're actually standing on a spaceship. Well, I'm sitting on one right now. You may be standing, possibly sitting. But even just using a long exposure at night starts to open up all sorts of magical things in the sky we don't normally see or appreciate. And of course for me, I just being a loner, I love being out at night because it's so quiet. But coming out at night has its drawbacks. Doesn't matter what time of year it is, in Northern Ireland it's going to be cold. Especially this time of year, as you can see from my breath, it is Baltic. Proper cold. Proper cold. For us here anyway. Canadians be laughing at this. -20 and they're still going to work. -20 here and we're all dying. But anyway, to keep the head up, starts from the ground up. I'm lucky enough to have a really cracking pair of socks on. They're bridge steel, they're heavy wool. However, whatever they're made out of, they're really breathable and they're really warm. Over those good hiking socks is a nice pair of boots. There's no point waxing on about boots. If you want to know about hiking boots, there's plenty of places to go find loads of information. One thing I will say is spend as much as you can. For years, just because I'm a bit skint, I always had to exist on cheap, hiking boots, and they only last a few months and they're rarely actually waterproof. So you're faced with two options. Give up on waterproofing, which a lot of people do, but it's really cold around here for doing that. Or save your beans up if you can and try and get a nice pair of boots. Now I was so lucky. The day I went to get my big expensive hiking boots, which I'd wanted for over 10 years, strode into the outdoor shop, take my money, And they had a sale on, they had a pair of North Face GTX hiking boots, which are big and heavy, but that's what I need because I tend to carry quite a bit of equipment around. And they had them half price, so I was over the moon. I was able to spend my money on a few other outdoor bits and pieces. It was great. These boots have now lasted me a good couple of years. They show no signs of stopping. I take a bit of time looking after them, but nothing too obsessive. Okay, that's socks and boots. I feel the cold, so I take no chances. At the minute, I'm wearing a nice pair of long johns to keep me cosy. On top of those, I've got a pair of jogging bottoms, which I normally wouldn't do, but it's winter, it's Baltic, you can see. And then on top of that, I have these great outdoor pants, or trousers as you should say. They're waterproof, they're windproof, they've got a thermal lining on the inside. So they are keeping me nice and warm. However, I'm sitting down, I'm still feeling the cold, and that's huddled over this little fire. I'm not cold to the point I'm uncomfortable, but I know it's not warm out here. So to the top layer, we've got some innovation going on here. It's not innovation, it's actually old school technology. Let me take a drink of my coffee. Oh, yo. So, working the way out, I've got a thermal, don't know if you can see it, see this collar? So that's part of my long john set, that's the undergarments. On top of that, I have a sort of rash vest t-shirt which allows my skin to breathe underneath that thermal, but still it's a good wind stopper and also keeps the heat in. On top of that, this is the traditional piece I was talking about. You don't normally see people wearing these out in the outdoors. I used to have the privilege of leading a scout group, and as part of that you get your scout uniform, and this is the scouting shirt. And it's designed so that you look smart wherever you are, and scouts tend to be on top of mountains, in bogs, in shucks, etc. So it's designed to be hard wearing, keep the wind out, keep you warm, keep the bugs off you, whilst also allowing you to sort of stay relatively smart. I like wearing it outside because it's light, but it's really windproof. Quite a lot of the time, with this gear I'm wearing underneath it, I can get away without a coat and stuff if I'm moving around. On top of that, I have one of these funky insulated jackets. It's not an expensive down one or anything, it's starting to fall to pieces already, but it's really, really warm. I love the fact that it packs up into enough and goes into my bag when I don't need it. Over the top of that, I have this, I've fallen in and out of love with this thing. It's tatty, the zip's broken, I've had it for a lot of years now, but there's no denying the amount of heat it keeps in for all the size of it, and I also like the fact that it allows my arms to move around so I can still cut wood, operate a camera, cook dinner, etc. On top of that, I'm wearing an out there snood. A snood is like a tubular piece of fabric that goes around your neck. You can drop it down or you can pull it right up over your face. If you're not wearing gloves, it's a bit easier. I like that because it protects your lips from chapping. Nothing worse than a chapped lip. And then on top of that, we've got a hat. I'm lucky enough to have a great collection of hats. This is my smart talking to camera beanie. Earlier on, you may have caught me wearing my absolutely disgraceful but oh so warm beanie. I went through the washing machine and got snagged in the washing machine, got pulled all out of shape. But that means it now fits over my baseball cap, covers my neck, covers my ears. Really doesn't matter what you wear, just make sure that you're covered up. There's no gaps for air to escape, so you've got your back covered, your kidneys are nice and warm, because that's where you lose loads of heat. Your neck's warm, your cuffs are nice and sealed, they're warm too, and the same for down here at your ankles. I've been coming into the outdoors for years and years, so I've been able to build up a collection of good sort of technical gear. And I've been able to cycle through all that technical gear to find the right blend of layers that I really like. I like to be able to stay really, really cozy and sit and observe things, and that's not something that most outdoors folk do. So my gear has to be able to keep me warm, even when I'm just not doing an activity. A great challenge for gear that's keeping you warm when you're doing that is that it doesn't sweat then when you do start to move. And like I say, I'm normally lugging a big pillowcase inside a big rucksack over a mountain or something, so I can get sweaty. The gear I'm all wearing now, I can strip down the layers when I need to, plus it does breathe pretty well. Nobody likes a sweaty Betty. To get here before it got too cold, I left pretty early, so I'm going to have to knock out my dinner here. It's just a little stove I got off Amazon for like, I don't know, £10 or something. I've had it now a good 5 years. Those are the frosty tips off the Christmas tree. Nice and full of resin and a wee bit of white fluff. It's just a bit of cotton wool to help everything get going. The white block is hexamine. There we go. Hopefully that'll be enough to get the hexamine lit. It normally lights pretty easily. I love working with hexamine as a solid fuel because it lights pretty easily. It's really controllable. You know how much you're getting, how much of a burn time you're getting from it, and it's really safe. It's not like a liquid fuel that's going to spill and cause damage. Ooh, cheesy. There's a good smell off that, I can tell you. I'm a big greedy monster, so I like to have 2 of these. Mixing things up. Go for a branded pack. And then a supermarket own brand. Oh yeah! More cheese. Cheesy. So, I talk about being able to make a brew of coffee and crank out a bit of dinner. It's been really, really, really helpful keeping your morale up when you're out taking photographs. You're out these places for a long period of time, so doing this gives me something to focus on. I've been trying to find a perfect shot. It's kept me warm, it's kept me busy. But see, to be honest, for me, whenever I'm outdoors, it doesn't matter if I'm outdoors camping or outdoors taking photos or whatever, every wee act's a meditation. Making a coffee, making some pasta, cooking some sausages, finding firewood, lighting a fire, building camp. All these things can seem like a chore. But when taken in contrast with all the other busyness we have in our lives, well, you can find beauty in each wee task you do on the outside. And for me, I can find a lot of beauty in this because I'm hungry. Yum, 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 yum. I'm right in the habit of those. Oh, yeah, yes. Why didn't you just go and get a burger and chips? Well, there is plenty of those places around here, for sure. But I tried to keep the cost of my adventures down. So far this dinner, those sausages are nice butcher sausages. But I found them in the reduced section of the little garage I drove through on the way here. £1.19, thank you very much. Add that to the cheap packet pasta, we're probably looking at £2 for dinner. £2 for a big feed of mac cheese, hot sausages cooked out underneath the stars in a beautiful spot of wilderness, just ahead of doing some photography. So yeah, I could have been away, landed here, jumped out the motor, got my shots, and been away again by the time I've done all this faffing around. But to tell you the truth, I'm only now starting to get into a sort of place where I could create a bit of art, you know? It doesn't come on demand. It comes whenever, well, it comes whenever there's nothing else there, I think. That's when creativity comes. When there's a gap for it too. Silence. Stopping the nonsense that goes through our head all the time as we do our best to try and accomplish all the things that people expect of us. That's a bit deep. Let's eat mac and cheese. I gotta say, it's really tasty. What have you cooked up tonight then, Davey? Well, let me tell you. That's a brand packet. I normally don't bother with brand packets, but anyway, it was on offer. Chicken and mushroom pasta blended with store-bought, what I normally get, mac and cheese. So we got like a cheesy chicken mushroom pasta dish going on here, served up with these lovely butcher sausages, beef sausages I might add. Sorry Daisy. The food's good, having made it, I've rested myself, rested my mind, and when I have finished it, got another coffee brewed out, I'm going to be a happy man. I'm going to be so full of good, tasty, warm food. I'm going to have my cup of coffee with me, I'm going to throw on my big coat, we're going to go up and start taking some real nice photographs, hopefully, fingers crossed. Hopefully the gods of exposure will be with us.